Okay, so Ajna Chakra is the pituitary gland. It sits at the top of the spine, and if you bring your hand around from the top of the spine and come around, it is just above in between the two eyebrows. So that's Ajna Chakra there. So Ajna is where the two nadis actually come to a meeting point. Well, actually the two nerves of the body too come to that meeting point. So it's the union of, this was the harmonization of the opposites. This is actually the union of all our opposites, our masculine, our feminine, our sun, our moon, the light, the dark. And it's the pituitary gland is the master gland of the rest of the glands in the body. So as we were talking about in Muladhara chakra, it's the perineal body, where the kunda sits, and then we have the ovaries and the testes, the Peyer's patches below the navel, the adrenals above the navel, all the glands through the body. They're carrying the information, what is happening in those organs in that area, in those glands. So that's not what's just happening physically in the organs, it's what's going on in your life as well, of each chakra. And all that information then comes up into the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland says, oh, that's what's going on. So it conducts the orchestra. It's going to send messages back to those glands and tell them what to do and what not to do, and to the organs associated. So then it starts to change all the chemistry in your body. And if you're focusing on what you want, it's going to change the chemistry to that as well. I mean, it starts here in Vishuddhi, it starts here in Anahata, but it actually the full action is taken here. So the pituitary gland sits in what they call the cave of Brahma, the third ventricle in science, and it sits down the bottom at the back, and the pineal gland sits at the top here. So some say this chakra is a pineal gland, some say it's a pituitary gland. These two work together, okay? So really, you could say that they're both pituitary, pineal together. So the information then comes off the pituitary gland. In this cave is the finest of alcohols, the alkahest. So, you know, when we're washing up, it's all soaps are alkaline. They strip the grease off the dishes. So that's what's happening here. The hormonal oil releases from the pituitary gland in the cave of Brahma, and there's an alkahest there, and it strips the oil to pieces, gets all the information of what's going on in the body, sends the messages to the brain, and then it goes down through the spinal cord. And through the spinal cord, it goes through the nerve, the vein, and the lymph to all the organs and glands, and says, you shut off, you make this chemistry, you do this, you do that. And this is happening in split seconds with every thought and feeling we have. It's coming up through the gland, sends the messages back down the spinal cord, up through the gland, sends message back down the spinal cord. So, and it's going zoom, zoom, very fast. So when we do these processes, we're slowing all of that down. Then we're working more to our appropriate behaviors of what we want in our life. So then that's why it's like Tai Chi, you practice slowly, but it's actually a very fast self-defense form. And it's the same here, if we practice this slowly, we're trying to change our patterns of our way of thinking and being and doing. And then those messages are going to be the more common messages that are getting sent through us rather than the program we've had over all of these lifetimes. So it's the master gland. So it's where the two nerves come together and they meet. And so again, it's that harmony between the left and the right. Always when you're bringing your hands together, think of that. When you bring the energies together, you're always bringing the two opposing energies, the positive and negative ions, the positive and negative fields, the acid, the alkaline, masculine, the feminine, the sun or the moon. So whenever you bring your hands together, bring them together with intention, because this is mind and body marrying at the soul. And this is where they marry here. So this has got to be real harmony in here. It's also the chakra of sight. It is the eyes, but it's insight. So looking within. But also when you're looking within, when you're looking into the outer world, you drop away all the stuff around it and you see what's really going on. So you're not, you're you're seeing the underlying of everything. You're not seeing everything as it is, as the visual and the senses. You've gained that insight, so you're looking out into the world and you can see what's really happening as they're talking, or what's really happening as they're doing, or you just see the world as it really is. And then you become one with the universe. You realize you are the universe. You realize you're God and everything is God. So some people, when this is awakened too soon, they feel like they're God and they're the preachers and they're the da. Yeah? So that's the imbalance. But the balance is to be in harmony with everything and everyone, knowing that we are all one. We are the universe. So what we're doing today is we're going to be bringing that energy up. Just keep bringing the energy up from the lower chakras all the way up to the brow center. And this is also candle gazing, focusing on the third eye, everything to try and open that, even massaging around. Let's massage around the eyes first. So you can just you can stay laying down. I'll just explain if you want to stay laying down. So just bring the thumbs up on the inside of the eyebrow bones, the eye bones on the inside, and feel those little dents. So this actually is very good for your liver, by the way, as well, working around the eyes. And just do little circular motions there. And then take the hand just a little bit further out and you'll find more dents. If you just work along, and where the dents are the lymph drainage points as well. So just work your fingers along that eyebrow bone and find where those little dents are if you can. And just you can change fingers, it doesn't have to be the thumb, and just give them that little circular movements. And then you start from the lower bone, from the inside, and work your way out again, just little circular movements. Nadi Shodhana is also bringing those two energies together at the brow center, alternate nostril breathing. And then just even working the temples here, waking all of the energy up in this area. Nice little exercise to do in the mornings. Wake you up, get the liver functioning, because the liver is about your spirit as well. And then just go to the brow center, just slightly above. So some people do Nadi Shodhana where they have their two fingers on the brow edges. And then I was shown by this Kundalini priest, which I really like, using the pointer finger and the ring finger on the brow inside edges of the brow, the inside edges of the brow, and then the middle finger touches Ajna. I really like that little method. So then the left hand comes to Chin Mudra. So when you do your Jnana Mudra, so when we're using this mudra, the pointer finger of you and I, and the thumb is the universe. And you're bringing those two together, the self with the universe, and increasing that flow of energy as well. So bring the left hand to Chin Mudra, right hand around the brow. So pointer finger on one brow, inner brow, and the ring finger on the other inner brow, and the middle finger on Ajna Chakra. And then closing the right nostril with the thumb. Just going to inhale through the left nostril. So really be aware that you're breathing up through the spine, through that left channel, Ida Nadi, all the way to Ajna Chakra. And then holding the breath at Ajna Chakra, block the nostril and exhale through the right nostril from Ajna down to the base, down through the left channel in the spine. And then inhaling from that left channel in the spine all the way up to Ajna. Holding the breath, blocking the right nostril, exhaling through the left, all the way from the brow center down, Ida Nadi, the left channel. Breathing up, Ida Nadi. Feeling that energy, holding it in Ajna, and then breathing down Pingala, the right side. So you don't hold the breath out, you breathe straight back in on the same side, and then you change sides when you're exhaling. So you exhale, then inhale from one side before you change over. If your nose is blocked and you can't get the breath in, you can even use your finger to pull your sinus cavity open. You can just use the finger to pull it open. One more round, and once you've breathed out the left nostril, you can bring the hand down. And then you're going to take the breath through both nostrils. So we've been breathing up Shushumna Nadi, the center Nadi. So as you inhale, imagine you're breathing all the way up. And even focus your eyes to the eyebrow center and hold the breath there. And then as you exhale, look down to the tip of the nose, but breathe all the way down to the base of the spine, right down to Muladhara Chakra. Remember, the nose is the reflex of Muladhara Chakra. So you can use your eyes as well if you like. Holding the breath at the brow center. And then exhaling, looking down to the tip of the nose. And then just relax. Just rubbing the hands, creating heat in the hands. And just resting the hands over the eyes, allowing that heat to move into the eyes. I'm rubbing the hands again, creating the heat. And hold that into the eyes. And as you have your eyes covered, you're now looking inward. So even have the eyes open as you have the cover over the eyes. And just begin to have more of a look inward. So this is about our intuition and our intellect, but not letting the intellect override with the what ifs and the buts all the time, but really focusing on that intuition, listening to it and following through. But just like in Vishuddhi, deciphering which is head babble and which is actually your intuition. It's a great exercise having the eyes, heated hands over the eyes to lubricate all the little ligaments in the eyes. And bring the hands down. It's nice, comfortable thing sitting in there like that. Okay, so now we're just going to go through a few different breaths. So we're working through each chakra. You might want to just bring your legs out for a second and give the legs a little bit of a shake. Just let them loosen up a little. Okay, and then bring the legs back in. So if you would like to sit, it's nice to sit with one foot in front of the other and the foot at the perineum. So we're just going to start with Bhastrika because this helps to work the base 2 chakras. So we've got to make sure that we're really getting that breath below the navel because they're the chakras we're working as well and not just pumping on the adrenaline. So that might get a blanket as well. So if you have a high blood pressure or any problems with the heart, we don't do rapid breathing. Even if you have peptic or duodenal ulcers, just keep the breath slow. Without the breath, let's start just letting the belly come forward and then pulling it back. And make sure you're pulling it back from below the navel. We tend to always just, so some people can't even pull in below the navel, they're just on the adrenals. So if that's the case, you're not even going to rapid breathe either. You're going to practice getting these muscles below the navel to work again. Otherwise, you're never going to pump hormone from the base. You're going to pump adrenaline through the body all the time. And that's probably how you're breathing. So just keep moving that in and out without the breath. And really know that the muscles and the pump is working. And when you pull back below the navel, you'll feel that it tends to make you lift from the base of the body a little. So now we're going to do that with the breath. As you inhale, allow the belly to expand. And then as you exhale, push the belly back. Let it get faster. slowing it down. Long, deep breaths. Now, if while you're panting, you start to get cramped in the belly at all, just stop and wait for the cramp to go, because that's the organ. So don't put the organ under stress, just let the breath go and let it relax, and then start again. And then begin to strengthen the breath again as we begin to speed up. Faster. Deep and long. So we're starting to get that hormone and the energy from the nerves to start moving from the base. If there's nothing moving from the base, there's nothing much going to be happening up here. One more round. Working the muscles. You may feel dizzy as more oxygen's coming into the body. A little faster, stronger. So you're forcing it back and letting it bounce out. Slowing, long and deep. Then we'll just try the practice of Uddiyana Bandha. So resting the hands onto the knees. We're going to try and push the belly in, the whole belly below, behind and above, and suck it up into the lower ribs. So up into using the intercostal muscles to lift the whole belly. Now again, when we do this lift, we've got to make sure it's not only just lifting at the solar plexus, because that's another common problem, again on the adrenals. It's got to lift right from the base. So as we do the lift, engage Mula Bandha, engage the base of the body and start really pulling up from the base. All right, so a good practice to do is, okay, so inhale below the navel, let it come out, a third of the breath breathing into the navel, a third of the breath breathing above the navel. Now as you breathe out, pulling below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. Inhaling below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. Exhale below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. And see how then it starts to make the belly do a ripple. Inhale, expanding below, behind, above. Exhale, pulling below, behind, above. Inhale, below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. Exhale, below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. Keep going. This will help you to get the lift. So eventually, you should be able to do this without the breath. Eventually. So a lot of people tend to be able to roll down, but you're always pushing downward. You've got to be able to roll up as well. All right. So it's sort of that action. So you've got to really pull, as like the breathing out, pulling back, and lifting up and in. So we breathe right out down to the spine. We pretend we're going to breathe in, but we're actually just locking at the throat and sucking the belly up. There's actually no in breath. So take a full breath in, below the navel, behind the navel, above the navel, all the way up. Breathing out all the way down the spine. And then at the end of the out breath, just breathe that little bit stronger to the tailbone. And then lock at the throat, pretend you're going to breathe in, pull it up. Bend the elbows, put it down, and then breathe. Let the belly expand, breathing all the way down the spine. Right out strongly to the base, lock Muladhara, lock the throat, suck it in, pretend you're going to breathe in. Put the belly down, lift the head, and then breathe. One more time, inhale. Breathe out all the way down the spine. Lock at the throat, lift from the perineum, suck it in and up. Bend the elbows, drop the shoulders, release, then breathe. It's a really good one to practice in front of the mirror so you can see exactly what you're doing. So the Bhastrika, the rapid breathing, is a cleansing breath because you're getting all the oxygen in and trying to push the carbon dioxide out. But it's moving everything so fast, it's cleansing all of the cells as there's that rapid exchange. And same with Uddiyana Bandha, it's actually squeezing all the organs, so it's releasing everything from the organs. So straight after that, then we do the lion's breath, Simhasan. So you bring the fingertips to the floor with the palms facing the front. And it's just, we're going to do that exhalation, pushing the tongue out. So take a full breath in, press the palms to the floor, push out right from the solar plexus, eyes wide open to the eyebrow center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Okay, so that's a really good cleansing breath. And when we do Cobra, we're doing the same when we do striking Cobra. Because we usually do it at the end of the right side of the salute. And then the final thing is to do a striking Cobra, because that's pushing the toxin out again. So, yeah, use that breath quite a bit. Whenever you're feeling a bit of a toxic build-up, just... And now that can be emotionally, physically, or mentally again as well. Remember, any build-up comes in every form. Okay, and then we come to the nice start coming out of the grosser chakras into the lighter chakras, even here at Anahata. So this is hummingbee breath. This is a great breath also for stress, because when we're under stress, then the heart and the lungs go out of rhythm as well. And it's also helps to prevent brain degenerations, things, you know, like Alzheimer's when you're aging and stuff like that. So it really starts to bring peace into all of this area. So this is where we block the ear, just blocking the ears by pushing the skin over. And then if you like, we can use Sanmukhi Mudra again as well, where we're using the fingers over the eyelids, closing the eyes, the middle fingers closing the nostrils, but we won't, because you won't be able to breathe. And then the ring finger comes on the top of the lip and the little finger below the lip. So the thumbs are blocking the ears, pointer fingers covering the eyelids, middle finger's at the base of the nose, the ring finger above on the top lip, and the little finger on the lower lip. So again, make sure you're not pushing your head forward. So reach out the crown of the head. And then we're just going to, so take a full breath in, and we'll just do this for a couple of minutes. Doesn't have to be loud. And just bringing the hands down. Just closing the eyes and see if you can hear any after sound, or just feeling that inner peace and stillness. And then working with the throat chakra. So it's Ujjayi Pranayama, like we're going to contract the glottis of the throat, but we're going to pull very strongly, so we actually make a noise. It's actually called laughing cow. So we contracting the throat and so coming from Anahata now to Vishuddhi. And then just relaxing that breath and just rolling the eyes up to the eyebrow center and just holding there. When the eyes get tired, just release the eyes and bring them up when you're ready. Again. And just let that go. Rub the hands again. Create some heat in the hands. And placing the hands over the eyes. And rubbing the hands, creating some more heat. It gets hotter the second time around. And then bring that over. Bring the hands down. So that's a set of Kundalini exercises that I was taught by a Kundalini priest. So they always like to start with Muladhara first, because when you come into the grosser chakras, it just helps your mind stay clear and not so get so rattled by what's happening in the base. So Ajna Chakra, and then the Bhastrika works Muladhara and Swadhisthana, and then Uddiyana when we're pulling the belly up, Manipura, Humming Bee, Anahata, Laughing Cow, Vishuddhi, and then again we're back at, well, I just added that last bit in of gazing back at the eyebrow center because that's where we are today at Ajna. But you worked at first when you did Nadi Shodhana. Just coming onto all fours. And just shake the legs out a little bit because they might be a little bit numb. Okay, and just let the belly fall to the floor, look up, roll the shoulders back. And then curl the tail under so you're lifting from the tailbone, Muladhara Chakra. And start to ripple up the spine, pressing out now from the sacrum area. And then pressing up through below the navel in the spine. Pressing up through behind the navel. Pressing up above the navel. Spreading up through the lower ribs. Then let the weight come to the hands as you spread between the shoulder blades. And then start to release through the shoulder blades as you lift your face parallel to the floor, pushing from the throat to the back of the neck, making the back of the neck long. Roll the shoulders back. Push from the eyebrow center into the center of the head. Tuck your toes under and push up to down dog. So here we'll try and create another ripple. So just first spin the armpits in toward the cheeks so the shoulders are rolling away from the ears. Dropping the head down so the ears are next to the arms. Curl the tail between the legs And then start to ripple up through the spine. See if you can just do that ripple all the way up into the chest. The weight will come into the hands as you get to the chest, through the throat, into the head. Then push back through the hands, ears next to the arms again, sink into the feet. Curl the tail between the legs and start to ripple up through the spine. So try to bring all that energy all the way up to the eyebrow center. Then push back through the hands, arms next to the ears, sink into the feet, and inhale, coming up on the toes, pike the buttock high, and come back down onto the knees. Come back to pose of the child, bringing the forehead onto the floor, arms by the sides. So imagine that tiny network of nerves in your brain, a mass amount of nerves, so very tiny nerves, and see them as the roots of a tree. And allow those roots to grow into the earth. So you're grounding the mind. And imagine you're letting the mind chatter come out of your head now and move into the earth. Let the shoulders fall toward the floor, so you're opening the back of the heart, releasing any pent-up energy in the back of the heart. Inhale, start from the tailbone, curl the tail under a little, and start rippling up through the spine to come into cat stance. Exhale, let the belly fall to the floor. Inhale, ripple from base to brain. Exhale, tuck the toes under, push up to down dog. Inhale, ripple from base to brain. Exhale, push back from the hands into the heels. Inhale, come up on the toes, ripple up through the spine into plank on the knees. Ripple through. Exhale, come down onto the knees, back to pose of the child. Inhale, coming to striking cobra. Stretch the arms as far in front of as you can. Bend the elbows, keep the hands where they are. Pulling forward. Exhale, push it out. Tongue out, eyes wide open. Inhale, coming into cat. Exhale, back to pose of the child. Inhale, rippling into plank on the knees. Start from the base of the spine, work all the way to the crown. Exhale, tuck the toes under, push up to down dog. Inhale, take a ripple in down dog. Exhale, push from the hands back into the heels. Inhale, come up on the toes, ripple through the spine to plank on the knees. Exhale, come down on the knees, sit back to pose of a child. Inhale, coming forward to striking cobra. Strike, tongue out, eyes to the eyebrow center. Inhale, cat. Exhale, pose of the child. Inhale, rippling into plank on the knees. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, a ripple in down dog. Exhale, push from the hands into the feet. Inhale, ripple to plank on the knees. Come up on the toes and ripple through. Exhale, come down to pose of the child. Inhale, striking cobra. Eyes to the eyebrow center. Inhale, cat. Exhale, pose of the child. Inhale, rippling to plank on the knees. Exhale, down dog. Last round. Inhale, ripple in down dog. Exhale, push back to the heels. Inhale, come up on the toes, ripple into plank. Exhale, down, pose of the child. Inhale, striking cobra. Exhale, pose of the child. Inhale, pose. No. Yeah. Inhale, ripple into plank on the knee. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, ripple. Walk the hands up to the feet as you exhale. Inhale, roll up to standing, vertebra on vertebra. Once you look up, gaze up to the eyebrow center. Gaze up to the eyebrow center. And then exhale, ripple down through the spine, chin to the chest, roll through the shoulders, the ribs, all the way down through the spine. Keep the weight in bubbling springs behind the second toe, behind the ball of the foot. Inhale, rolling up through the spine. Exhale, rolling down. Just keep moving with your breath. Keep your attention right back toward the spine. As you're lifting, your attention is just in front of your spine. Just in front. So don't push the belly forward or suck the adrenals in. Just keep the belly relaxed and keep your focus just in front of the spine. So you're reaching out the crown of the head by the time you come up. Roll down through the spine. So you will feel that little bit of a horse's breath as you come up. So you're going to ripple all the way up. Once you've lifted into the chest, you're going to come up through the throat. The head does do a little tilt back as the energy moves over the back of the head. But then it comes to the crown of the head and into the center of the head. So the finish point is reaching here. Don't finish with the head tilted back a little. And just ripple one more time, getting that energy base to brain. Inhale, bend the knees, let the hands lift and come down. Bring yourself into a comfortable seated pose. Grab yourself a cushion or a blanket. Whatever you need to keep you comfortable. And just sit directly in front of the image. So we're just going to stare at the image for about 5 minutes. Looking directly into the center, trying not to blink. Don't strain the eyes, just close the eyes, look at the after image. And you'll notice the after image may be trying to move up and down and side to side. Just try to hold the after image in your closed eyes still. And this will help to still the mind. When that after image fades away, open the eyes and stare at it again. Just closing the eyes now and focus on the after image. I'm trying to hold that image still. We're just finishing the practice now. The hands, palm the eyes. I'm just coming down into relaxation now, so lying down on your backs. Having the eyes just closed, lips just touching, teeth slightly apart. Relaxing the tongue behind the top teeth. Turn the palms up toward the universe, receiving energy, arms slightly away from the body, or you can have your hands resting on your body, especially if there's an area you wish to heal. Have the legs slightly apart, let the toes fan out, the hips relax, or you can have the knees bent up. If your back's very sore and you want to relax the legs, you can open the feet as wide as your mat and let the knees roll in. Just as long as you're comfortable. And just become aware of the breath moving gently in and out of the body now. And encourage that breath to move deep into the lower belly, very gently. And feel the floor that your body is touching, your whole physical form. Become aware of that and feel where it's touching the earth. And allow all the physical tension to fall out the back of your body, falling back into the earth. Let all of the physical tension leave your body until there is absolutely no tension and you begin to feel lighter. And as that tension has left your body and you feel that lightness, it's like you're an empty vessel. And as you feel that lightness, imagine that you are lifting from the earth, just hovering off the earth. And feel the spiritual tension that's just on the top of your body. And imagine that spiritual tension's releasing through the top of your body. Feel all of that spiritual tension within you that suppresses you, shatters you, and just stops you from feeling expansive. Let that tension be sucked out of you by Sky Father, by that universal flow. And as it releases from you, you begin to feel lighter, clearer, more enthusiastic. Just this empty vessel now, expansive, free, weightless, limitless. And imagine now you're just that soul without the physical body. Just a vibration of energy. And without that physical body and the senses, how differently we perceive the world. How differently we exist in the world. Imagine you're letting all the impurities fall away from this vibration so your vibration increases. There is no intellectual mind left. And you see everything just as it is. You perceive everything just as it is. And it gives you this whole new view on life. Feel the gravity of Earth Mother pulling you toward her, and feel the weight coming back in your body, but it's not heavy. And you're just resting lightly on this earth. Bring the awareness to the eyebrow center and begin to look in towards yourself without judgment, just looking in toward yourself. And you realize how much you really are. That you are God, you are part of this universe. And that everything is. And now look out into the world. Just bringing the awareness back to your breath now. Notice the rise and fall of the breath. Become aware of the sounds around you. As soon as you hear one sound, move to the next sound. And just bring the awareness to the sound of your breath. And back in towards the third eye, Ajna Chakra. And feel the breath moving in and out of Ajna Chakra as it comes up through the back of your nose. And just begin to wiggle the fingers and gently blink the eyes. Squeeze the fingers, the toes, the eyes tight shut. And stretch your arms above your head. Take a big yawn. And then just hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Or if you're sitting, a little twist. Just moving the spine, allowing yourself to wake up. And coming up to sitting. And we'll finish the practice with 3 long Oms. So if we contract the atriums of the nose here, you'll feel that you'll get that resonation into the eyebrow center. So it's oh. So full breath in. Bringing the right hand of thought toward the heart, the left hand of action toward the heart, the soul. Bringing these 2 energies of intuition, intellect, masculine, feminine together in harmony. And then as we bow, the fingertips touch Ajna Chakra as the thumb tips touch the nose, the base chakra, and the brow chakra. Namaste. Quick around you. Voila.